Hi everybody, I'm Scott Bino, Vice President of Marketing for North America here at Crawford & Company. And today on Crawford Chat, I am joined by Lynne Venkateshwaran, who is the Manager, Office Administration for TPA. Lynne, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you being here.
Oh, well, I'm humbled and I appreciate the opportunity.
So we're going to start with hopefully an easy question.
Okay.
Lynne, what is your job? What do you do at Crawford?
Simply put, anything that's ethically correct, legally right, and morally good, I'll do it.
I love that answer. It is open and broad, and I think it speaks to a lot about your character. Right?
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. That's what the focus of the chat today is about. Today's chat is not about your job, it is about you.
Oh.
And some of your passion, right? So, and volunteerism specifically, right? So can you talk to me a bit about what drives your passion for volunteering and fundraising, both in Crawford and also in your personal life?
So I think it goes back to growing up, coming from where I come from, India. We didn't have a lot, but what we had, we tried to do a lot with it. And then over the course of the years, it becomes a part of the fabric of me. And it just becomes natural, normal.
And I know, in speaking with you, that you do play a key role in mentoring
Right.
new Canadians and immigrants coming to Canada. Do you have any memorable experiences that you can share, how that's maybe impacted them or even impacted you, both in your personal life or even in sort of how you carry that through your work at Crawford?
So firstly, it's, I'm just the instrument. Crawford's the one who's afforded me the opportunity to do this. So we've had maybe close to 70 people through this new immigrant program that have come through over the years. Very experienced, some looking to gain experience. And so in every opportunity, they come through Crawford's doors, and more in the capacity of an admin role that's very dear to me. And then move on. Right? They move on to other roles, they move on through the ranks within Crawford and outside of Crawford even. But we had this very young lady who left her war-torn country, Middle Eastern country, and traveled all the way to the other side of the world. So it's exciting, it's terrifying, right? Just given the background. And so you come here, you have nobody, and then Crawford steps in. We offer a co-op, contract, full-time role, benefits. That's so important, right? But it's exciting, but it's also scary. But then Crawford as a family steps in. You have staff who start to mentor, to guide within the office and outside. And then, you need a family doctor, maybe you need an apartment. How do we celebrate Halloween? Okay, come with me. I'll show you what we do, right? And we become that protective and offer that comfort. And slowly you start to settle down. You get comfortable in Crawford, you get comfortable in Canada, and it just shows in a very, very broad and impactful way, Crawford cares. And so do we as the staff.
I love that. You mentioned mentorship, and I want to talk a little bit about that, right? Like obviously mentoring and some of what you just described is forms of mentoring, right? And
Yeah.
it can really change somebody's trajectory.
Yeah.
Has there been a mentor in your life that stands out for you that has really shaped and helped you?
Yeah, there's been a few. You know what? One of my current managers, and the fact that I'm sitting here today talking to you, I normally wouldn't do that. I like to do things in the background. I don't like the spotlight. It's not about me, it's how I've always seen it. And my manager has always said, shine your light. Shine your light, and let people see it. So that's one thing I'm trying to do. And then I've had probably our very first CEO for me and my first manager, they always walked around. The first thing, talk to people, not about work. How are you? How's your child doing? I've had questions like, how was Mass this weekend? And what was the sermon about? And I think making people feel valued, that you care to ask, sticks for a long time, right? People will forget what you do or what you didn't do. But how did you make somebody feel makes a big difference.
I love that. I want to go back to something we talked about in the beginning, which is around fundraising, right? I know you've been involved in initiatives like Relay for Life and our Season of Service. What got you involved in that? What was the thing that said, something that said to you, or you saw something that said, I got to do that, I got to get involved in that?
Well, I think one, growing up, my values of gratitude and giving back, look for the positive always, right? There's always a positive, whatever it might be. But I think losing my dad to cancer, all within a year, very quickly, hit really close to home. And then I think we've all lost someone in our work life, in our personal life. And so you feel helpless, right? You can't help at some point. But joining into these kinds of things and fundraising, volunteering, you know somewhere down the line, you can bring a breakthrough or help with healing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the biggest.
Okay, Lynne, so last question for you. And kind of riffing off of what you were just kind of sharing, and first of all, I really appreciate you sharing such personal experience.
Thank you.
If you could inspire more people to be as involved as you are, what would you say to them to encourage them to get involved?
So I firmly believe we are on this earth to serve, not to be served. So, it doesn't always have to be something big. It doesn't always have to be something on display. There's a lot that each one of us can do in our own little way, but the first step is to get involved, to take that first step. And then the rest just flows. That's all I can say.
I love that. Lynne, thank you so much for being here. This is a really, I think, really inspirational chat for me personally, and I think for everybody watching. I would think so too. So I really want to say thank you so much for being here. And thank you everybody for watching this episode of Crawford Chat. Be sure to stay tuned for future episodes.
Thank you.
I'm going to try it, and then you're going to correct me. Venkateshwaran.
Venkateshwaran. Venkateshwaran.
Venkateshwaran.
Venkateshwaran.
Venkateshwaran. Venkateshwaran. I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night
I'm saying,
screaming Venkateshwaran. My wife's going to be like, what? Nothing, go back to bed.
It's a lot of characters.
Because I'm sure that's probably how people are like,
Yes.
Lynne, and you're like, Lynne B.
And you don't want to know the actual, it's Lynne Marian Dominica Venkateshwaran.
So I'm going to say your full name.
Just put a Scott for me, please.
What's the last song you sang in the shower?
Better shape up, 'cause I need a man.
Are you a shower singer though? Do you sing in the shower?
Do, and
You do
I'm a
sing in the shower.
And I'm a car singer. I'm in the car and I just lower the windows in the summer. And there's my daughter hiding in her
She's covering. Mom, stop.
Oh, mommy.
Stop embarrassing me, Mom. What's something you would never do, even for $1 million? Okay, I'm gonna cut this part out. What would you really do? If you could make a rule for a day that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
Take a break. Close your eyes, rest, relax.
And with that, let's take a break.
Okay.
We did it.
Thank you.
Awesome, good job.
Thanks.